welcome to the Dream is Real podcast. This is the place if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in New York real estate. Before we get started, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We don't want you to miss an episode because we're going to keep bringing you great content. Today is no different. I am with Chelsea Bressingham of United Mortgage Corp. Chelsea, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So you are in the area of mortgages. Very important part. If you don't have the funding, you can't get the home, right?
You're right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you had gotten into the industry.
I have been in the industry for the past 4 years now. How I got in was just a friend of a friend. I feel a lot of people get into the industry that way.
Sure.
But I had just graduated my bachelor's in business, and I wanted to go into finance. I didn't know where I wanted to go in the financial field, and he told me to call someone, and that's how it all started. I was an account manager first, and then I took a step back, and I became a loan officer assistant for 2 top producers. Funny enough, it was Dan and Danny. So I had 1 year with Dan, 1 year with Danny, which was kind of funny. I learned the front end from one of them really on how to go get business. And the other one I learned on how to actually do the business processing side, taking applications, all that. So
both very important parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a particular niche that you're in, whether it's residential, commercial? Where do you find yourself doing most of your work?
Residential is my bread and butter, but I United also, we could do all different types of loans, but for myself, I really like working with residential. I'm actually with the Homebuyer Learning Center, so our niche is educating home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, to the closing table. A lot of people don't think that they can purchase, and our goal is to help them attain that goal.
Very cool. That's the kind of the whole mantra of the show and where we had gotten started, right? The messaging out there is so much so that things are just so much harder. And we're not saying it's not, there aren't challenges, right?
Of course.
But would you agree with the sentiment of that the dream of home ownership is a very real thing for most people with the right game plan?
Absolutely. I think anyone can purchase. It's just having the right team behind you. And that's what I think as a loan officer. You also have a real estate agent. You also have an attorney. You also have an inspector. There's so many different people that are going to help you get to the closing table. And then vice versa with myself, my processor, my underwriter. You have a team within myself. So having the right team is very important to get you to the closing table.
Let's chat about the Home Buyers Learning Center. Education, I guess at any level, if you're looking to move into investments, if you're looking to be a first-time home buyer, even if you've bought a home, look, things change, right? Circumstances are different. Give us a sense of how the Home Buyers Learning Center is a resource.
So many things. I mean, we get walk-ins. People come to the Home Buyer Learning Center just to learn how to purchase a home.
Where's it located?
We are located in Levittown.
Okay.
So 3025 Hempstead Turnpike, Levittown, New York. So people can come in at any time just to learn about purchasing a home. We have a free education seminar every Thursday, first-time homebuyer seminar, just to learn and see how they can do it. I've invited my friends to come, my clients to come, just to learn, even if it's not today. Everyone wants to purchase their own property within their lifetime. And
I haven't come across somebody who that is not, on their bucket list, so to speak.
Of course. And I think that, if people come without getting that, that sales mentality, they just want people to hold their hand and guide them through it.
Right. What do you think are some of the most common misconceptions that either keep somebody away from, striving to achieve that goal or, just in general scare them going into the process?
I think there's a lot of fear mongering. I think a lot of people, they just don't know. And when you don't know something, it's scary and it makes you anxious. Right. So that's why you want to work with people that are very knowledgeable and they educate you through it instead of just saying, here's your pre-approval. I explain why, they qualify for this much, the taxes. I always tell my clients whenever they want to put an offer down to give me a call to go over the numbers and making sure that they have a comfortable monthly payment. But before you even get there, just explaining to them and simplifying what a debt to income ratio is, how they're going to qualify based on their credit, their income, and their assets, and really just breaking it down for them.
Is that the type of information that someone can expect by going to some of these seminars? That and what else is being taught there?
We do all different types of seminars. So I actually just did one I like to do something different. I think, as we said, everybody wants to purchase a home. So I try to do a seminar once a month. So last month I did how to build your business on social media. So now we also work with business owners as well. So they also can learn how to purchase a home. And it's just something fun for them to do. And also referral partners as well, real estate agents on how to build your business. And that's how we met via social media.
Right.
So then that's how they can find me as well as a loan officer.
Yeah, because the dynamic changes to some extent in the way that you make your income. Obviously, there's W-2 employees that have, are getting that, paycheck every week, and not much in the way of fluctuations. As long as you're working the same amount of hours or the salary stays the same. But when you start getting into self-employment and business ownership, that changes things a little bit. So how do you guide, each of those individuals differently?
It really depends on the client. So everyone has their own unique file. Everyone has their own unique situation. Not everyone's going to have the same credit score. They're not going to have the same income, not the same assets, not the same situation. And that's what I love about doing mortgages is that it's like a puzzle that you're putting together. And I think that...
That's so true. No two transactions are alike, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the fun of it. I'll never get bored because everybody is different. In a sense, of course, you'll have like the same scenarios that will come up, but when it comes to a business owner, it's going to be very different than a regular W-2 employee. Now there are different loan types for that as well. We could do bank statement loan where we just take the bank statements from that. There's also profit and loss, P&L.
Is that bank statements from the business, from the individual, or both?
So it would be from the business.
Okay.
Yes, but a lot of business owners don't know that they do also have to use their credit as well. So they do have a personal aspect in that. So a lot of people think it's just under the business and just that, but we're using your own personal file as well. And the reason why we're looking at a bank statement for a bank statement loan is because we're looking at basically, let's just say you're a landscaper. We're looking, especially for 12 months to 24 months, there are going to be seasons where they're not, making a lot of profit compared to the summer where a landscaper is making a whole bunch more. So that's why we're looking at the average.
Right. And how many years typically do you go back in that scenario?
It depends. It could be 12 to 24 months, so that's 1 or 2 years.
Got it. Interesting. And on the W-2 side of things, what are some of the criteria that folks should know about, whether it's tenure at job, use of part-time income to enhance the usable debt-to-income ratio? What are some things that a W-2 employee would have to consider?
I think a lot of buyers think that they just got a job and it's like, now I can purchase a home. But we don't just look at how much you make. We look at consistency of work as well.
Sure.
That's very, very important.
Got it. So when you say consistency of work, you're talking about same industry, or you're looking for gaps? What exactly are you looking for?
Well, past 2 years is what we look for. But yes, if it's in the same field, especially if it's a 10, compared to a W-2, if they're 1099, when did they get that job? Is it the same thing? So not everyone has the same situation. So I mean, I have clients right now that we can't use the 1099 income because they've only been working at that part-time job for, I want to say 4 months.
Sure.
So we had to explain why we can't use that, and it's all about education. Once they understand that, they're like, oh, okay, so we do a different scenario. Can we get a cosigner? That's kind of what I love about doing mortgages is really, again, like putting the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, the answer in many cases is yes. It just the right factors have to be in place, right? And I think just based on our experience, sometimes the buyer goes in a little nervous, doesn't, thinks that the cards are stacked against them. But that's where speaking with somebody for a pre-approval as early as possible really is the best scenario. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I think everyone should just know their finances. I think, when you want to purchase a home, the right timeline. I always ask my clients, what's your purchase timeline? When do you want to purchase? Is it tomorrow? Is it a year from now? Is it 3 years from now? And how can I set you up for success?
Right. So give some scenarios on how you can help someone who's like, yeah, I've been renting for 5 years, done with that, done giving money to, something that's not building equity and ultimately wealth. I want to get started. What's some advice that you could give them to prep them for that?
So interesting. I actually have a client that's closing within the next 2 weeks, and I had spoke to them last year. So this is almost like a year. I would say maybe it was last October that I spoke with them, and him and his wife were renting for 15 years. And they asked me, what do you think I should do? Because their landlords were basically going to get rid of the home. I said, I think you kind of answered your own question in that sense, because now
It's not
there's
what do you have to do at that point, right?
Well, you don't have any equity to show. You just gave your money to someone and now you didn't build up equity. Imagine you purchased a home 15 years ago, you would have 15 years worth of equity.
Sure.
And a lot of people don't really understand that. So explaining to them, like, you purchase a home, you're now building equity.
Sure.
And for your future generations as well. It's exciting. They're they're an older couple buying their first home.
So that's got to be really rewarding. I think whether it's on the agent side, which I understand very well, on your side, what's it like to help somebody achieve that goal from your perspective?
I mean, it's a great rewarding feeling. I feel like, once as we know, there are a lot of hiccups in the road. So like when you're, just for this specific file, just to give a background, they had like an open permit, stuff like that. And, a lot of people, like, they want something immediate. So holding their hand throughout the whole process and also setting those expectations, I'm like, listen, It's going to be an overwhelming process, but just understand that I'm always here a phone call away to answer all of your questions. I will answer my phone at 9, 10 o'clock at night if you are anxious and nervous about something, and I will explain it to you.
Did you know going into mortgages that you would also have to be a therapist as well in some cases?
No, but you know what?
Or do you not look at it that way?
I was a cheer coach, and my whole spiel is cheer to close.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of clear to close, it's cheer to close, so cheering you onto the closing table. But also in a sense about trusting your lender as well, because that's so important. I get tossed up in the air 10, 20 feet. Need to make sure that person knows what they're doing and will get me down safely. And not every stunt is perfect, and not every home purchase is perfect. We all know that, being in the industry. So that's really what it's all about. And being a cheer coach is also being like a therapist as well, checking in on people, my athletes. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to being a loan officer, is also just, holding people's hand through a big purchase. And that's very rewarding.
I guess that's true. I don't have the experience, but I have siblings that were in cheer. You've got to keep the smile on your face no matter what the score of the game is, right?
100%, yeah.
Fair enough. So you also delve into the side quite a bit with investments, and that's something that we're very passionate about here as well, is real estate in the way of building wealth. So tell us a little bit about United Mortgage and how you can meet the investor with their needs as well.
So the reason why I really started working with investors and really looking into loans that help investors, DSCR, all of that, is because I'm starting something called Own It All. Something about myself, this is like personal, is that I think we should all own every part of ourselves. And that also goes hand in hand with owning your own property. And I think I'm very women empowerment. So I think that everyone should not only own their own property, but also own a place where they are making passive income. A lot of people, especially in New York, I feel like are very hesitant on investing and learning about it because they don't have the knowledge.
Right.
So that's the same thing with HBLC, is that we also want to guide our investors into learning. So first-time investors, and teaching them how to do it as well.
Where do you think is the starting point for somebody who is looking to invest in real estate for passive income or just future wealth building?
speak with me.
Fair enough.
Talk to a lender. Talk to a loan officer. Scrunch your numbers down. Figure out what field you want to go in, because there's so many different aspects of real estate investing. There's fix and flip. There's also Airbnb people do, rental properties. Like, where do you find your niche? And figuring out the right plan for you so you're making that passive income. I spoke with somebody who invested with somebody else, and they're only making $225 off of their rental property per month because they were splitting it with somebody else. And that's crazy. I think that you should definitely have a conversation with your lender to also know how much you're making as well. Imagine going through a whole deal, paying closing costs, and then you're only making $225 per month.
Right. And then you have hopefully the building of equity in that in the long term, but you're talking about the passive income being something that's a little bit more substantial to your today, and making deals that will support that, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, $225, that's not even a grocery trip, these days. So when you look at you gave a couple of different areas of real estate investment. Let's talk New York, even if we drill down to Long Island in general. Where do you see some of the biggest opportunities right now?
I would say with 203K loans right now, if you're finding a property that is distressed and you can fix it up, I think that's really where a lot of people could benefit, and they could make a profit off of that.
So 203K loans, is that specifically for investment, or if somebody was looking to dwell in the home as well and wanted to go in understanding that, hey, if I make these particular repairs or changes, it increases the value. Is that something that would fit in with them as well?
Yeah, they could do that as well. I think a lot of people are doing that. So I have a lot of residential clients that if they see a home and it might be a little distressed, if they don't have to move in right away, then they can do the necessary repairs on it to move in and have it move in ready for themselves. They can build up that equity, then they can make that a rental property, and vice versa.
What's the typical criteria for a 203K loan in contrast to your typical FHA or conventional loan?
Well, a 203K loan is FHA 203K. So it's like you're kind of getting the same criteria.
I'm talking about more of your kind of standard out of the box loan, if that makes sense. Or maybe it doesn't. Say, Jay, that doesn't make sense. But no, but I'm saying not every deal has the component of, I'm purchasing the home and then also I need, the funds allocated for these projects. I guess what I'm getting at for our audience is give us maybe walk us through a scenario of somebody who's purchasing a home, the types of repairs that need to be done, and how that's presented to be able to secure the 203K loan.
I actually have somebody refinancing with the 203K, but
okay,
yeah. So it's a different situation. They already own the home, and what we're trying to do right now is they want to do repairs on it, and like big repairs. So they need a substantial amount of money, and once the home appraises for the amount from the renovations, that's what they need the money for.
Got it. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say it's your typical high ranch house, and so you're saying that there is a refinance possibility in that.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, are there certain amounts of certain types of repairs that would fall under that, or if it's a situation and say, hey, we want to, I want to buy this house and I want to extend it. All things considered, architect says, hey, it can be done. All that. Is that something that could fall under that, or is it more of the vital repairs for a home that is in disrepair?
Well, there's two categories. There's conventional rehab, and then there's also FHA 203K. Okay. So you can go either or, and both have two different guidelines. So depending on which one works best for the client.
Got it.
For like monthly payments and vice versa.
Got it. So yeah, so you can pretty much do whatever type of repairs you need. All right. So let's stay on the investment side. You're looking to invest. It needs a full gut scenario. What is it that you present to the lender? that allows the lender to assess the amount that you would qualify for.
You mean my underwriter, basically?
Yeah, the underwriter, yes.
So we go through, it's the same application you would do for a regular residential property, and even with the same vice versa, if you're just purchasing it. Dependent on what the renovations are, we just need to see what's going to be done on it from a contractor for them to say this is what's going to happen, vice versa, and all of that.
Very cool.
So that's like just standard stuff on the buyer side. They're not really doing as much more. It's more on the lender side of like us taking a look at what makes sense and what is going to give them the most profit.
Got it. And you're able to gauge, obviously, how it would increase the value on the house, which I'm sure impacts that as well. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's some other advice that you can give, whether on the home buyer side, whether on the lending side, another area, just if with what you see on a day-to-day basis, if somebody needed to know a particular thing, what would that be?
For anyone purchasing a home,
yeah,
work with the right people. I think that's really important. Work with somebody you like, and you trust.
So the characteristics of somebody that would be that you would want to work with. Give us some characteristics.
Someone that's trustworthy, that's able to give you the right, somebody that's knowledgeable, somebody that's able to give you the right information, someone that's educated, someone that's resourceful. Because not everyone knows everything. And someone that's able to go get the answers for you and present it back to you. Someone that's when I say trustworthy, someone that's going to be able to give you the hard, honest truth, right? You want that. You don't want to be sugarcoating everything, especially as a lender. A lot of people, they'll get sugarcoated on like closing costs and things like that. I'm going to set my expectations to exceed.
You'd rather be pleasantly surprised at the table.
Of course, absolutely. That gives you referrals. That gives people they get excited about that. You know what I mean? They're like, oh wow, like if I quote you at, this is what I think the closing costs could come out at. I'm not too sure because we have to run title and everything like that. But if I give this to you, now if we scrunch down the numbers and it's less, then you're like, oh wow, I feel a lot better about this. So I'm setting my expectations for that, so my clients will feel better about the purchase.
Looking at your career, what are some of your favorite moments? Maybe something that you helped someone achieve their goals. What are a few stories that stick out to you?
That's a great question. Actually, I'm not going to lie. This is like a pinnacle moment in my career at this current moment with my clients that are closing within the next 1 to 2 weeks, because they were renting for a long time and they're in their 60s and they're purchasing a home for the first time, and they brought their grandkids in, and like I know them very well. My client sends me pictures of the fish he catches, and just like seeing that they're actually like building wealth within their whole family, because that home is now going to go from them down from generations to generations. And I think it's really nice. Once they got that accepted offer, it was really exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I could see where that is extremely, extremely rewarding. So as far as you and the Home Buyers Learning Center, give us a sense on, some of the ways that you can help and how our audience can get in touch with you.
So with the Home Buyer Learning Center, we have a really great structure, and I've been with them for quite a while now, and I absolutely love what we do. And that's why I say when we work as a team, it's myself, my processor, my underwriter. With every pre-approval that we have, with every pre-approval that I give out, it will go through processing and underwriting. So I'm not just giving you a pre-approval, I'm giving you a commitment to the loan. And that is just as good as a cash offer, as you know.
How important is that, right? Because do you think a lot of people hit the market a lot of times thinking that they're more secure in their pre-approval than they are, right?
100%. But that's why working with the right person is so important. And working with the right team, I think that at HBLC, what we do really well at is making our clients comfortable, but also the educational piece of it and simplifying it so our clients understand the decisions that they're making and they're confident about it.
I think part of being truly comfortable is the knowing that you're being told the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? So that even if you're told something that makes you mildly uncomfortable, at least you've got that information. And working with somebody like you can prep them, probably even from the, hey, here's what we need to handle on the credit. Hey, these factors are in place. And knowing is such a big part of the power of being able to complete the transaction, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for tuning in as well. This is the Dream is Real podcast. Again, looking to buy, sell, or invest. This is the place to be. Keep coming back. If you want to follow us, you can do so on Instagram. It's at Dream Select Realty. On X, I always say Twitter. On X, that's long gone. It's at Dream Select Home. If you want to be part of the program, email us at hometeam@dreamselectrealty.com. We'll see you next time. Just remember, the dream is real.